What's going on, my DC fans, and welcome back to another video. One of my favorite movies of all time is Watchmen, and we are going to discuss everything Watchmen right now. It's kind of a little bit of a review and the cultural impact and why I enjoy it so much. Just everything Watchmen. To start off, Watchmen was directed by Zack Snyder in 2009. Pretty much follows a group of people called the Watchmen. Before them, they're like the second tier of what was originally the Minutemen. Years prior, and then they turned into the Watchmen. The movie starts out with the killing of the comedian, and Rorschach is trying to figure out who did it. Then you have Night Owl and Silk Spectre, who have retired because apparently they're not allowed to be superheroes anymore because it's illegal. So yeah, it goes to, it goes in the past a lot. And then you have Ozymandias, who is the smartest guy in the world, and then you find out at the very end that he was the one in control of the whole thing. He was the one who killed the comedian. Then you have Dr. Manhattan, who is like the world's most powerful man. He's pretty much like the Superman of this movie, of this comic series, The Watchmen. And he is a very dangerous person, but he's not. But he's framed again by Ozymandias to make it look like he was probably going to kill the whole world. That wasn't the case. So yes, Ozymandias was in control of the whole situation, and it's a crazy movie. It's a lot to take in, first and foremost. And when I tell you, when I first saw it, I just thought it was okay. I literally thought it was okay. But with any Zack Snyder movie, it takes time. It ages like fine wine, and this is no exception at all. Because I literally watched this movie one time, didn't think much of it. Years later, watched it again, I'm like, wow, that's like one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. The fight scenes are magnificent. The visuals, again, Zack Snyder, enough said, visuals are amazing. The storytelling, everything in this movie is top-notch. The acting is good. The story makes sense. It's an overall fantastic film when you sit down and you really take it in. And the fact that this movie was even made is crazy, because if you do a little research on this, which I did, they've been trying to get a movie done like this for a long time. And it didn't happen until Zack Snyder was the one in control. This was Zack's first crack at a comic book movie. And I think he knocked it out of the park. But when you look at it, it's like, damn, how did this movie even get made for a time period like 2009? Now, when these movies, if you want to call them Marvel-esque movies, started coming out, and then they started taking more chances, it makes more sense. Like, you had Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like, oh, what the hell is this? But then it all kind of infused together. But a movie like Watchmen, I had no idea what it was. I never heard of it. Now, probably really hardcore comic book movie fans or comic book fans knew what this was, but I had no idea. So it was a huge risk for the studio and for Zack Snyder to take. And again, it ages very well, and that's the cultural impact in movies like Watchmen and BVS. Is years from now we're going to be like, wow, like those movies were ahead of their time. That's another way of putting Zack's movies, is they're ahead of time. Again, you look back at when the movie was made, 2009, and it's just like a head scratcher, like, what? But now it's an incredible, like, people enjoy the hell out of it, and it's still being talked about to this day, because it's like, that is crazy. My favorite characters in the movie was Rorschach. I thought he was an interesting character. I loved his detective work, kind of reminded me of like a Batman-esque character. Behind the scenes, always staying in the dark. No one really knows what he's up to. Trying to get the answer, trying to be the world's greatest detective, if you will. Enjoyed the hell out of his character. The score was magnificent. The music, it all flowed very well. It definitely fit the time period of this movie. And of course, it has one of the greatest intros of all time. Definitely for comic book movies, but just movies in general, it's one of the greatest intros of all time. And you can debate that with anyone. I bet a bunch of people, at least 90% of people, will say, yeah, you're probably right. That intro was killer, and it's always a great time when that movie starts and you're just like glued to that intro, like, man, this is magnificent. And of course, you have famous Bob Dylan playing in the background, so it just fits so well. But yeah, this movie it's going to be here for a long time. It's not going anywhere. Of course, the movie isn't going anywhere, but the discussions, the aging of it, it's going to be on our minds for years and years to come, because this is the power of Zack Snyder. This is why I love Zack Snyder and his work, because of the impact. It's not just a cut and dry film. It makes you think. There's so much in it. There's so many Easter eggs. It's all this craziness put into one film, and it works. It works so well, and you get so much out of it. You get the emotions. You get the fun. You get the great music, the acting. You get something out of it. You get every little piece out of it, and that's why this movie is so amazing and will be talked about for years and years and years to come. So anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, because it helps me. In return, I can help you. And as always, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new content's coming to you from Subjective Reviews. And thank you for watching.